Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Shay, your local numerologist. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, share. Make sure you leave your comments below. I love reading all of them. And of course, happiness is always the goal, guys. All right. So we are getting into our life path reading. We have life path number 4. Okay, so this is going to be your second quarter reading for 2023. Whenever you hear this reading, it is timeless, so it'll apply to you at whatever time you hear it. But particularly, this reading is for the next quarter. All right, so we have Life Path 4, practical, sensible, logical, intellectual, and a problem solver. Okay, this thing is not working how it's supposed to. I think I need the batteries to change. Anyway, so the message I got for Life Path 4s, in general, the readings that we are doing are about kind of situations or emotions that you have been holding on to that you need to kind of let go. So the old emotions are kind of sticking with you. Um, I refer to it a lot of times as trauma, but sometimes we can get caught up and stuck up on something. What did I do wrong? Where did it go wrong? How can I fix it? In your case, everything is not always fixable. So I had a couple message that you guys gave more than you had and you kind of regret it, right? So it's kind of like buyer's remorse. You guys are very like physical type focused, like you want things to be done in a very physical light. So we're gonna go over the original situation, the blocks that it created, and then over here we have the first steps to take, right? And so let's get into it. When I started, guys, the song Iggy by Chico DeBarge was like playing in my head. So I am gonna kind of associate that with that pile over there. I'll leave a card to the song so you guys can check it out. But basically, the song is about him just not being treated right in a relationship. Finding out that he was a side dude. It really sounds like that. So let's go ahead and get into it. I was gonna say that this definitely sounds very relationship driven, very much like a romantic relationship that kind of didn't go right. Somebody not appreciating you or not holding you to the correct value that you hold yourself, right? And I also get that you guys were really focused on somebody's potential and what they could be. And the reason why I have an issue with that is because you are not like a better person than somebody else because you see something in them and you want them to be that person, because in essence you are telling them that, hey, who you are isn't good enough, and I would really rather appreciate you as this person that I see you as. And as although, in your mind, in your heart, you're like, I really love this person. I really want to see them the best that they could be, or whatever the case may be. Most of us do not live up to our full potential. And so you loving somebody for something that they are not only hurts you, it hurts that person as well, because they're not appreciated for who they are. Now, I got my Chucky cards out because I was really feeling that you guys feel like this person is evil. Right, so this pile over here, we have the original situation. And I pulled a wisdom chakra card for you guys that have 7th chakra, crown chakra, divine intervention, right? And we all know what divine intervention is. It's when we think something is going one way and then our guides come in like, boop, yeah, right. You thought, but you was really wrong. That's pretty much what divine intervention is. They're like, no, 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 this ain't the way we going. Everything is set to go perfectly, and then everything just goes wrong. I honor a higher power and know that anything is possible. I let a higher power have a more active presence in my life, and I know that my life is divinely guided. I surrender to this truth. I know that I am loved, guided, and protected by a higher source. I am open to seeking guidance in my spiritual quest from a spiritual teacher, master, or guru. All right, and I think that, okay, so Life path 4, as you see, practical, sensible, logical, intellectual, very earth driven, right? So when we talk about spirituality and when we talk about like, hey, this happened and, it doesn't make sense at all because some things don't make sense. Um, it's the right way to go. You know what I'm saying? There is a logical way to look at the spiritual. As somebody, I'm a life path 7, and we have the major balance between physical and spiritual. There is a way to look at it to make it like sensible, to make it logical, but in your case, you kind of have a harder time seeing that side of things. And not in a way where I'm telling you that you don't believe in God or anything like that, because that's totally and completely not what I'm saying. You could be very skeptical, even though it's like, you are somebody who may need physical proof and you're just not going to get it. Faith is just one of those things. You have to have faith in yourself, in your guides, in your future. You have to be a faithful person, regardless of what you believe in. And sometimes you guys can lack faith because it's something that you can't physically see. Okay, I think that is the reason why I'm getting that. Okay, so I get hot and cold. The biggest issue here is that this person was sending you mixed signals. Mostly they were saying one thing and doing something else. Um, at the end of the day, guys, you have to weigh both things, right? I would say like, hey, if somebody is saying one thing and doing another, they are definitely confused. And that saying, confusion is of the devil. Confusion is kind of weird, right? And I would definitely see it as some kind of manipulation tactic, because as long as you kind of exist in a gray area, you can always be like, oh, well, I didn't say that. You know what I'm saying? I love to use an example, and it's so weird because I believe it had to be English class. And the teacher was just like, oh, pillow, blanket, bedroom, nighttime, or something like that. And naturally, like your natural mind is going to come up with sleep, even though she didn't say sleep, your mind comes up with, hey, this person is going to sleep. Now, somebody who is very manipulative is going to be like, oh, well, I didn't tell you I was going to sleep. Well, I mean, you're talking about a pillow and a blanket, talking about how tired you are. Like, it only makes sense to me that you want to go to sleep. Like, common sense, right? But you were dealing with somebody who was kind of like on and off. Again, this definitely feels romantic. It could apply to other things, but I'm getting a very big romantic pull right now. Oh, look, this is a 4. Okay, some of you guys may be a karmic life path 13. I would definitely check that reading out if you are. So 13s deal a lot with people kind of being irresponsible around them, not doing the things that they promised they would do, or kind of letting things fall or evolve in a very like negative way. I do get that this is a pattern, right? Some of you guys may have a child with this person. This person may act very childish. You know what I'm saying? With the Knight of Swords here, I definitely am getting the divine intervention. Sometimes, okay, so the Knight of Swords normally breeds like rushing, anger. It's a very intellectual card as well. All the swords are communication, intellectual, things like that. However, I have drawn this connection to the Knight of Swords and our ancestors. So a lot of times when the Knight of Swords pops up, is your ancestors coming through, cutting shit off, cutting shit out. Maybe they're angry about something, and so they did their best to end whatever cycle you were in, whatever event that was, whatever situation. I definitely get that here. Okay. Hope that's better. I definitely get that here. So, like I said, child involved, maybe somebody was being childish, something like that. So, I have inner authority, intuition, turn your gaze within. I really feel like this very, very lonely vibe. Like somebody you were with, somebody you depended on, left you very lonely. And people talk about like dying alone, but people don't really talk about being lonely in relationships. You know what I'm saying? Feeling like, okay, you're carrying all the burden, you can't really talk to this person, they don't really relate to you, they don't try to relate to you, they don't try to please you in any way. That can be a very lonely life. When somebody is not emotionally and mentally supportive, it does leave you in a very lonely state of mind, because our partners are there for more than just sex or money. Our partners are there to support, period. Like, it doesn't matter. Your partner is there to support you being a better person, support you being a stable person, support you being emotionally okay, financially okay, physically okay. Your partner is there to support you. So when you are in a partnership and the support is all gone, then you are really standing alone. And kind of losing this relationship was really kind of like the best thing that ever happened to you, because it was very harmful in the first place. So it looks like both of these cards are reversed. Okay, so we have the Seven of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles. You were forced to reevaluate how much work you put into this relationship. That's what the cards say to me. You were absolutely forced. It was kind of like one of those things like, I don't have anywhere to go from here because like I'm all alone. You know what I'm saying? It's like when we are going through something in our lives, we look to our partners like, "Hey, what do you think about this? Like, am I overreacting? Do you think I did the right thing?" You know what I'm saying? And they're supposed to be like your voice of reason when you're like kind of like on the edge. You know what I'm saying? But if this person is the type of person that'll push you more over the edge, or like get you right at the edge and then be like, ha ha ha, I'm just playing, and pull you back, then you're constantly on this roller coaster ride. You never really know where you stand. And you're kind of like out there all alone on that ledge. Like, really. Like, this person, whoever they are very disappointing in life. And you held them up a lot. You held them up a lot. Because even when they tried to push you over the edge, you grabbed them and made sure they wouldn't go over when they tripped themselves up on that shit. So here I do see, one, I see strength. If you guys don't notice now, we have two eights on the board. So we got two eights, two fours, and two sevens right here. Anyway. So then we have the strength card, and we have the ace of coins. Sorry, y'all. Make sure y'all can see those. As I said with the strength card, it really does look like you were holding them up. It also looks like you were holding back, right? Because a lot to do with the strength card is kind of like taming that beast within us. And honestly, guys, honestly, sometimes we get in relationships just to teach us shit like this. And then we have to move on. And that's what I get that this was. This was an opportunity. Maybe you were a little bit wild. Maybe these core principles that make up kind of like the life path 4, maybe you have veered away from them. Maybe you were kind of wild, you weren't really using your sense, and this person really kind of like brought you back to this place where you can kind of like stabilize yourself. You know what I'm saying? And not need to do so many things. And again, I feel childhood trauma here. um, they may have been there to help you get over some childhood trauma. And the reason why I bring that up is because the trauma that we have in childhood can lead into us being things that we don't want to be, being alcoholics, being drug addicts, being nonchalant, not loving people in the way that we need to be loved, right? In order to receive love, you have to be open to receive it. You have to be able to give that love that you need. And that was something that you really had to learn how to do. And it can be hard to let go of those type of relationships that taught us so many basics, but it doesn't mean that the relationship was meant to last forever. Regardless of what you think or what you believe in, um, every relationship is not meant to last forever. Just because you fall in love with somebody, just because you have sex with somebody, just because you spent a decade with them, doesn't mean you're supposed to be with them forever. Anytime your intuition, your gut is telling you to get out, you need to, at the very least, analyze why you're feeling that way and what you can do, which would be either do things to fix the relationship, um, figure out if you are tripping or not, right? Or completely walking away. You have to analyze and see what the hell needs to be done. All right, so next up, we are talking about the blocks that have been created, right? So we're going to start here with this card. Inner Earth, you'll survive this, new solutions and beginnings. Okay, so this again, guys, this is a kind of like finding a hard time moving on, having a difficult time kind of changing your life up because we get so used to things, right? We get so used to coming home to this person. We get so used to them covering their half of the bills. We get so used to whatever it is that the relationship provides that you actually like. But at the end of the day, we listen, we live so many times in just one lifetime. You have to start over. That is it. Yeah, pulling this irritated card is so fucking funny to me. Story of my life. Story of my life, okay? So the whole situation is irritating you, and that is it's causing blocks emotionally, right? Irritation is that line before being just downright angry. So irritated is kind of like you're the bear and somebody's constantly poking you, poking you, poking you, poking you, poking you. Like you're gonna be irritated until the point where you hit that anger. So really, whatever situation this is, like I said, I do feel like you think that this person is a evil person, or they are really connected to some kind of evilness, like they do evil things, or they have evil family, or maybe they playing with an like kind of offended that they took things so fucking far. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay, so I was okay. So again, we have this idea of hard work and really putting in the work, right? Toil and labor ain't a whole lot different than the Eight of Pentacles as far as you busting your ass, basically. Divine timing, right? Same as divine I wouldn't say the same as divine intervention, but they do run hand in hand. And then we have false person. And it's almost like you couldn't recognize this person for who they were because you were distracted by how they helped develop you and things like that. Definitely a vibe here to make sure you are listening to your intuition, right? We have all of these birds here. Birds do really represent our ancestors. They represent messages. And then we have timing, clock. It is the right timing. Things are going the way they're supposed to go. Now, there's always different paths in life that we can take. In this case, I really want you guys to forgive this person. Now, forgiveness is not the same as forgetting, but holding on to this grudge is definitely holding you back. It's blocking you from having a new start. Okay? Queen of Swords and Queen of Cups. So, what I'm getting right now is this lack of faith in humanity. I get it a lot, especially with empaths. This kind of lack of faith in humanity because somebody took your love for granted. And what's being blocked is for whatever reason, I'm still feeling a connection with this person. Now, you might have a kid with them, okay? But I feel like even if you have a kid with somebody who is the most awful, you have to find a way to go either no contact or gray rock, okay? You have to find a way to kind of separate your emotions and your mental from them. You have to find a way to cut them off so that you can start feeling whole again. Because something about it is like, I, I hate to say it like this, but it kind of feels like your heart's all chopped up. Everything's all like separated, and you just don't feel like put together. And it can be like that when you feel like you're being taken advantage of, feel like somebody used you, you feel like you put in all this energy and nothing paid off, so you feel like you wasted your time. That can really piss you off. Okay, so we have the Magician here, and then we have the Two of Coins. Magician does really represent manifesting, right? So we're talking about the blocks that is created here. Um, so I have manifesting and I have debt. The Two of Coins can also mean worry. So this could be like some kind of emotional debt as well. I feel like you guys are still giving too much, right? And don't know how to stop. So you can't fight fire with fire, right? But if somebody is coming at you with a rifle trying to shoot you, hugging them is not going to save your life. Okay? It's just not, right? So sometimes I'm not going to say you should always be fight. I'm not going to say at all you should fight fire with fire. But I'm going to say that you do not put a fire out by going into it speaking love, right? So be careful. You're not going to love somebody into submission. You're not going to love somebody until they're good. You're just not. The way that it works, right? The way that it completely works is people, you know how they say, and I always like to correct this, you know how they say, once a cheater, always a cheater. I feel like once somebody cheats on you, they'll continue cheating on you. Doesn't mean they'll be a cheater forever, just means as long as they're with you, they're going to continue to cheat. Why? Because you allowed them to do it, then you forgave them. Whereas if you leave them, they're going to be like, okay, if I find somebody that I really care about again, I better not do that shit because she'll walk away and they'll be a better person for the next person. So that's how I feel about this. Like, you really care about this person, you put so much work into it, you feel a little bit emotionally indebted. And you just need to allow yourself to release yourself from those feelings. This person is never going to be real. They're never going to be a good person for you. The purpose that they served it's over. It is over. All right. So last pile we talk about the first step, right? So the first step that I got is take people for face value, right? The way that people represent themselves, just assume that they are that way. Why would you assume that somebody is something else other than they're showing you? It doesn't make sense. And what it does is it leads you to a place you don't want to be. Okay? If somebody is showing you that they are mean, then believe that they are mean. And I like to say this: people are who they are, right? How they treat a homeless person, a server, a cashier, their mom, their dad, their family, whatever. When somebody mistreats somebody else, it's just a matter of time before they turn that on you, right? because we treat people how we treat people. It's just that. If you act crazy, then yeah, I might pop off. It's just that. I don't really care who you are. It just might happen. You know what I'm saying? So I keep people around me that treat me with respect so I don't have to pop off. But it's just like one of those things. Don't expect me not to do that. You know what I'm saying? Whereas if the reason I say that is because when you see people treating other people badly just for existing or making a mistake or, oh yeah, you're beneath me, it's just a matter of time before they turn that attitude on you. So take people at first value. They are who they are. So lifting the veil, questioning everything, anything unaligned must go. First step. First step. Question everything. And you have to. We learn so many things when we're kids, when we're in relationships, when we're hanging out with a certain group of people. And it's not always right, right? It doesn't always match up to how we feel inside. So I think it's really important because sometimes somebody will say something to us and it'll give us like a sick feeling. And I know that the truth does hurt sometimes, but it's different than that. It's not like a realization that you've been doing something wrong or, not okay for all these years. It's more of like this gross, like sinking type feeling. That is advice you don't want to take. If something gives you a sinking feeling, stay away from it. People, things, whatever. Whatever the case may be. Learn to follow your intuition. And if something is making you feel icky, okay, then you need to move away. And then for this pile, I got Beauty by True Hill. That was the song. All right. And yeah, I remember this song from childhood, and it's just really him admiring somebody from afar. You guys might have an admirer. Um, yeah, you guys might have an admirer, one that you haven't been seeing just because you haven't been paying attention, or maybe and you're just like, oh well, we're back to this pile. You're blocking your own blessings because of the bullshit that you've gone through. All right, so we have 26 and we have 14 knowledge and we have the fox. This says to me, out of everything that you know, everything that you have learned, that you know that you can't just be upfront and honest with this person. It kind of gives the vibe of that meme where Homer's like backing into the bush, like slipping out somewhere, ghosting somebody. Like people talk shit about ghosting, but it's kind of like one of those things. You don't owe anybody anything. Unless y'all are intermingled in some kind of financial situation, y'all got kids together, I don't see why ghosting is a problem. Because sometimes we need to get away so we can get in the correct headspace before we give somebody a reason for why we're doing something. And sometimes we have a hard time resisting somebody. And we need to be in a headspace to separate from that person before we say how we truly feel, if we ever even want to do that. Right? So I get a feeling of being kind of slick, being kind of dishonest. But what I'm also feeling is that this person really did abuse everything that you gave them, every opportunity that you gave them, the love that you gave them, any money you gave them, any emotions that you shared with them, like your life and all of that. They really did kind of take advantage of that. And so you can't be completely honest with them because it's just not going to work. It's never going to be like in your favor. Anything you say, they are going to turn around on you. And I know some of y'all is like, oh, da da da, like you making excuses for them. I'm telling you that this is not going to end well and that you need to pull out right now. Like right now. It's not going to end well. It is not. And Spirit wants me to reiterate that this person is literally draining you, and you know it because you've seen it. So if you want to move forward and create this, I'm getting like a spiritual legacy, but I am getting creating general wealth and some generational wealth in some kind of way. You do have to remove yourself from the situation, because if you don't, the changes that are going to be made are not going to be for your benefit. They are going to kind of create burdens and create heavy like mental burdens. Okay, let's finish this up. This shit's taking forever. Healing, Mary J. Blige. Now, y'all, I love Auntie Mary because, like, we didn't see her whole life. You know, we seen her come from like she's overcome so much, right? And she is such a boss bitch. Like, I love Mary J. Blige so much just for who she is. And she is somebody that is very strong. Now, I hate the term strong black woman just because it's almost like there's so much like expected of black women to never be like upset, or to never hurt, and to just overcome anything. And we're not always able to do that. It takes time. Like, we could look at somebody from the outside and be like, oh yeah, they've overcome all of those things, all of these things. They fought this, they fought that, they battled this, they battled that. And it took time. Because when they were in the middle of it, they didn't feel strong. They didn't feel like, oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna overcome this, and I'm definitely gonna come out right on the first everything's gonna be great on the other side. That's not how it feels when you're in the middle of the storm. You worry. But you keep fighting because you know giving up is just not an option. Nobody is strong unless they have to be. And that's just how it breaks down. So we got Six of Swords in reverse. And then we have the Three of Pentacles. So the Six of Swords in reverse is kind of like being stuck, or what I'm getting is like crowded in an emotion. Three of Pentacles is working with other people. And so I'm getting that you should use the emotions that are haunting you. So the things that are pretty much causing pain in your life, you need to use that to work with others. It could be to help others. So that could be seeing a therapist, working with the less fortunate, working with kids, working with, battered people, working with people who have been in toxic relationships in general, helping people get through something that you have gone through yourself that is still kind of like beating you down today. You need to use those emotions to push you forward, right? And so our final message, we got Eight of Swords, Nine of Coins, and the Two of Swords. Okay, with the Eight of Swords and the Two of Swords here, I'm really wondering if y'all are like an air sign, because I was feeling Capricorn in the beginning, because I can relate to y'all feelings about this shit, but mostly because practical, sensible, but I feel a lot of air energy here. It's a lot of air energy, so much. I mean, a ridiculous amount. And so wherever you have air in your chart, I am going to encourage you to look into it, especially if it's like one of your big three, sun, moon, rising, because it can maybe give you some kind of insight on how you're feeling, and how it's going. I don't know. But anyway, we got Eight of Swords, Nine of Coins, Two of Swords. So what I'm getting right now is that what I literally am getting trapped in luxuries and don't see a way out. So whatever benefit that you're getting from this relationship, you have put that ahead of everything else. You'll put that ahead of your happiness, ahead of your future, ahead of your generational wealth. like real generational wealth, not just money. You, everything on the line must go. And it might be a hard pill to swallow that you have been living this life that you really, really don't want to live. Um, or maybe you're like, you have this kind of stability that everybody sees and you don't want to walk away from that because you feel like you're going to be questioned and all of that. But you are not seeing a way out. And your first kind of like line of business, I don't know, is to really figure out what the hell you're doing. What are you doing? Why are you doing it? Is there a better way? Gain clarity, gain hope, and all of that. So, anyway, that is all I have for my Life Path 4s. I wish you all the best. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, share, leave your comments below. And as always, guys, happiness is the goal.